Welcome to Avon, Ohio. Glad to have you along here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Seemed like we were just starting this whole venture just minutes ago, and yet here we are in the final 2 weeks of our inaugural hoop season on this Lorain County Sports Network. We're going to spend both of those weeks right here in the friendly confines of Avon High School. And what we have tonight is Fat Tuesday, right? And so it's a night of celebration when we should have a really good matchup for you that we'll talk about as we get into tonight's game. I'm John Guzik, Max Drummond along with me to bring you tonight's action. And what we don't have is any conference games tonight. It's a non-conference Tuesday night all across Lorain County. And we've got the Lake Erie League Lorain High Titans coming over to Avon to take on the Eagles out of the Southwestern Conference. So maybe between those two great teams and what we can put together for you on our end, maybe it's a PHAT Tuesday. And we can make it that kind of Tuesday for you as we get ready to go, as this is the Stewart's TV and Appliance Game of the Week with the Lorain High Titans coming in 10-8 on the season, taking on the Eagles 12-7, and both of these teams right at the top, but just off the very leaderboard of their respective conferences. Well, we're going to start tonight as we always do with our Coach's Corner, where we get a few minutes with each of tonight's head coaches. It's brought to you by Great Lakes Basketball. You can train with the best. With Jay Valadez, a certified AAU coach. Max Drummond will have some time with Avon's head coach, Mike Fitch, and I got a few minutes with Lorain High's leader, Matt Killian. We got all that rolling up, and tip-off is just about 15 minutes from now on the Lorain County Sports Network. Just like that, we're getting ready to the end of the season and trying to keep everyone focused on what's happening, and that includes both teams tonight and the visitors coming over from Lorain. And we get a few minutes with head coach Matt Killian. Coach, how do you approach tonight's game? Non-conference, you've got your seating set. Kids are, you still got some Lake Erie League left to go. How do you get the kids to keep focused on what you want them to do this evening?
Well, that's what we've been doing all year. Just we have a game plan. We play with a purpose, and really nothing's changed tonight. Just that's another opponent that we respect. We want to come in here and compete and just kind of build towards what it is that we've been doing all year.
And give our viewers, our listeners, a little background on how the year went, because it seemed like it was kind of for me to find what is the identity of Lorain High this year in December. And then all of a sudden, here you guys are playing quality ball with another winning season. You're right at the top of the Lake Erie League, and it's been a nice year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just took a minute for us to kind of find ourselves, and we always had a purpose. It's just some of them were trying to find the purpose. I would try to already give them the purpose, but it was kind of up to them to figure it out on their own, and it took some time. But I think like I said before, we're building on the things that we've been doing, and we're starting to find a little bit of success.
Was there a particular moment or a specific game where you started to see that identity kind of emerge and start to take control?
You know what? Actually, not really. It was just trying to get everybody on the same page. We have chemistry on and off the court, but I think we needed to build a little bit more chemistry on the court, just from a defensive standpoint. And then, like I said, playing for one another, and there wasn't a defining moment. It was just a process.
And you've got a full group of seniors that'll be starting tonight. So walk us through who some of the guys are that our listeners will be seeing and hearing most often tonight.
Okay. We'll start with Josh Evans. He's at guard. Caden Thomas. He's our big guy. And then we have Ike Rouser, one of our shooters. And we have Asaya Killian and Jaden Greer-Howard.
And I know those Killian guys, they've been part of this program pretty in-depth for a while, right? So how does that process work as it kind of mend that whole thing of molded together a dad and coach with not one but two sons? So how has that process worked out? Is it any rough patches through that, or is everything just easy to roll along?
It's definitely not easy. We have three competitive men, young men in the house and on the court, and I don't want to lose sight of being a father, and that's the first and the most important thing to me. As far as coaching them, I coach them like everybody else. I really do. I hold them accountable, and things don't slide with them. Matter of fact, I'm tougher on them. But it was never about us. It was about the program, the team, and we know that. So we're selfless in that respect, and we're competitive, and every time we go out there on the court, whether it be coaching or them playing, you're gonna find not too many people that are more competitive than us.
So what do we got to do to have see Lorain High competing against Avon tonight? What's going to be the keys for the Titans to come away with a victory?
Again, just competing for 4 quarters, making sure that we've established our purpose, and it's defined. So just continuing to work to that and to build on it. And like I said, we respect Avon, but we really want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to get to where we want to go.
And we're going to talk about where everyone's going as the seedings have been in place now for a couple of days, and we're going to get to tip-off here in just a few minutes. Appreciate some time with Lorain High head coach Matt Killian on our Coach's Corner. Tip-off coming up on the Lorain County Sports Network.
Welcome back into the Great Lakes Basketball Coach's Corner presented by Jay Valadez. I'm Max Drummond sitting down with Avon head coach Mike Fitch. Coach, thanks for joining us before the game here.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. We always appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, and we're really excited for this non-conference matchup, especially this late in the season. And coming along to this point, you guys have had to work with a lot of different rotations and a lot of different lineups. What would you say is the strengths that your team has developed because of having to play that way and adjust that way?
Yeah, I mean, we're deep. We got 4 or 5 guards that can go in, and if someone's in foul trouble or they're playing well, they stay in. That's a big thing that was in a couple games for us, that some guys stepped up that, normally maybe wouldn't if Nolan was playing the whole year or Farley was healthy the whole year. So that's been helpful.
And also, you talk about a deep lineup, a deep bench to use. It's all pretty senior and junior heavy as well, a lot of upperclassmen. What is that, especially in this time of year, what does that bring maybe versus a team that was younger, hadn't had all that varsity experience?
Well, it brings stress for next year, but I mean, it brings that experience that I can trust our kids. When you go in a locker room before the game, you're not sure how they're going to play and stuff. I can pretty much trust these guys, know how they're going to play. They're going to play hard. They're going to respect each other. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to follow the scouting report. They don't really take any games off, hopefully, knock on wood, but that's something you can trust, that those guys are going to bring that leadership and that enthusiasm.
And speaking of that scouting report and looking to tonight's matchup with Lorain, obviously they're on a bit of a hot streak lately, and they've been able to play really suffocating defense. What is your guys' response to that and approach on the offensive side tonight?
Yeah, we got to take care of the ball. They're going to try to force some turnovers. We got to take care of the ball. We got to find the open man, and obviously we got to knock down shots. We struggled Friday against Midview, knocking down shots. A lot of different type of basketball, though. They were playing 2-3 zone the whole time, and I don't think Lorain's going to be playing us a 2-3 zone. So it's definitely something that we got to control the ball, slow down, be composed, and look for the open shot.
And I know tonight, obviously, it's non-conference, and then you move into the remainder of your conference schedule, which there's, with how competitive the SWC's been this year, there's still an outside chance. I know you, Berea, Mid-Park, are near the top of Elyria, obviously, all three at the top. How do you guys keep your focus on the here and now, and especially with the playoff matchups that, I mean, there's a lot on these guys' minds probably?
Yeah, I mean, I think the stress of the conference has really kind of let go, because we just got to win no matter what. It's, you just got to win, and you got to do what you got to do. Friday we kind of screwed up a little bit with Elyria losing as well, but I think we've gotten past that. We said we're just going to look at one game at a time. Luckily, I mean, our next 4 games are guaranteed home. If we win that first tournament game, we got a 5th game home. So that's kind of nice. We don't have to travel unless we make the district semi. So that's a good focus. Home crowd, home rims, that kind of stuff. So just take one game at a time, work on practice, work on the scouting report, and fine-tune the things we need to.
Certainly seems like an effective strategy and has worked to this point, a lot of your success. Lastly, I just want to go over who your starting lineup for tonight's game.
Yeah, we're going to have Nolan Good, Tyson Ziegler, Zane Austin, Nate Farley, and Sam Toniolo.
All right, awesome. Well, we appreciate your insight and chatting with us before the game. Best of luck this evening and the remainder of this season.
Appreciate it.
That was Coach Mike Fitch of the Avon Eagles, giving us some insight before the game in the Great Lakes Basketball Coach's Corner. Trained with the best, Jay Valadez, a certified AAU basketball coach. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the tip-off of Avon and Lorain. You're listening to the Lorain County Sports Network.
As always, our thanks to the coaches for taking some time to help us set the stage for tonight. Give a couple of thoughts on what's happening as we have Avon and Lorain warming up. Lorain, a couple of months ago when we looked at this on our schedule, I didn't know exactly what we were going to get. Lorain had come out to a 4-7 start on the season, seemed to be struggling in some spots, and now they come into tonight's game having won 6 out of their last 7. Very impressive run that they're on. As Coach Killian said, they're kind of finding their identity, getting ready to go. So their overall record, they come in at 10-8. For the Eagles, been kind of bouncing up and down. Huge win against Berea Mid-Park. Came on the heels of really their worst loss of the year, but their worst loss was to the number 1 team, St. Ignatius. So nothing to sneeze about there, but nice that they come back, but then dropped a close one to Midview in their last game this past Friday. And, of course, those last 2, the Big Berea win and the Midview win in the conference, and Avon still has 2 more conference games to go. Whereas for Lorain, they're actually going to play 2 more teams in the Southwestern Conference before the end of the season, as the shrinking Lake Erie League only has 1 more conference game to go. It's a big one for Lorain. They're trying to get tuned up to see if they can get revenge on Warrensville Heights. So as we come in tonight, we just had the seeding on Sunday. Avon ends up being the highest seeded team in Lorain County regardless of level, but certainly at Division I, they're number 20, Illyria number 21, and for comparison's sake, Lorain stand at a 36 seed in the Northeast District for Division I. So as we get things ready to go for tonight's game, try to figure out what's going to happen. And I know we've got a really good one going on, but I bring in my partner, Max Drummond, so we can talk about the keys of the game, which are brought to you by Buckeye Community Bank. Today and tomorrow, your partner for growth. Max, I can expect a really good game. I don't know what's going to be the difference tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those things where normally we try to break down and look at, okay, what do they do better than the other team, or what's something that stands out. And honestly, they remind me of each other just a little bit. They're very physical when they want to be, play very strong, tough defense, and they're both extremely experienced lineups. They have a lot of juniors and seniors in those rotations. So really, the keys are very similar, but it's who's going to be able to be more effective, who's going to be able to be at the pace they want to be. I don't see it turning into a track meet. Obviously, both teams have scorers, but who's going to be able to get those second chance points? Who's going to be able to control the paint on defense? And from there, who's the leadership? Whose seniority is going to rule the night, so to speak?
And to your point, as we come in tonight, Lorain averaging just over 57 points a game. Avon just shy of 59. So again, very well-matched teams. Somewhat similar style of play. They'll play as physical as they have to be. You know, Lake Erie League certainly known for being a very physical, competitive league there. But Avon has been up and down the court with all of them. And, you know, talked about Lorain having a little bit of a kind of a unsure start. And what was going to be their identity? Avon, of course, comes off of their football players getting ready to go. And one of those key guys is Nolan Good, who has been back now for more than a couple of games. But he missed a good portion of the season because of an injury sustained in Avon's latest run to football greatness this past season. So things coming together for them as well, as you'll hear some other names on our call tonight that you'll recognize from our football broadcast from during the fall season. One thing I also noticed in the JV game, we're going to talk about about Tyson Ziegler for the Avon Eagles tonight, one of the key members of this game. His younger brother was a key part of the JV game, and Avon did come away with a 47-44 win in that game. And interesting to note that his younger brother is the only freshman that's playing up at all in Avon basketball this year. Joey Ziegler is a 5'10 guard. So he made his mark known, and it was definitely a part of Avon winning the JV game, and we're getting ready to get this varsity game going here in just a few minutes. One of the good things in talking to both of the coaches before, we really don't have anything significant to talk about with the injury and active report. I guess probably the most significant thing is Nolan Good, being back at full strength now that he's been back for a few weeks. Our injury and active report brought to you each and every week by Illyria Jewelry and Repair, treating customers like family. We appreciate all the sponsors who help bring this first season of Hoops on the Lorain County Sports Network your way. Happy to have you liking, subscribing, and watching tonight on our YouTube channel. I'm John Guzik along with Max Drummond. Our technical team here, Edwin Vereen and Michael Allison is behind the camera, bringing you the sights of tonight's game as well and all the work they've put into. Coming up at halftime, we have a very interesting Avon tie-in to our halftime interview, because you're going to hear the name Fitch a lot. We've already talked about it with the head coach. We've got a Fitch that's going to be on the roster here for the Avon Eagles. We've got a couple of on the Avon girls side, and just a long history. We actually have the 101-year-old patriarch of the Fitch family in the gym tonight, and we'll talk to his son at halftime to put all this together, because we've got our national anthem now first, though. National anthem brought to you by Rich Resendez. Vote Rich Resendez for Lorain County Sheriff in 2024. And we're getting ready, as wrapping up my comment about the Fitch family. There's a tie-in to the rivals north of the tracks around here that we got to talk about at halftime too. So we'll get to all of that. Stick around with us, but I'm telling you what, this game shapes up to be a very interesting one. So let's talk about who you're going to be seeing on the court tonight as we get to our starting lineups, which are brought to you by Smitty's Place. Smitty's, where friends meet. And we're going to be meeting there on Thursday this week, as a matter of fact, too. So nice tie into that. So let's start with the visiting Lorain High Titans. Again, they come in with a 10-8 record. They're 5-4 in the Lake Erie League, and they're going to send out number 1 out there first, and he's going to be the name we'll probably hear the most, Jaden Guerra-Howard. He's a 6-foot senior, averaging just over 16 points and 5.6 rebounds a game. Also coming out number 2, Isaiah Rouser. He's a 6'1 senior guard. Averages 8.6 points, half a rebound a game, but leads the team in made threes, as he's connected on 34 of them behind the arc this year. So we'll be seeing him out there. Next to him will be number 3, Asaya Killian, one of the coach's sons we talked about in the coach's corner. He's a 6'2 senior guard, averages 11.8 points and 5.6 rebounds. Josh Evans will be number 5. He's a 5'11 senior guard, 3.5 points and a rebound per game. And rounding out the starting lineups will be number 10, Caden Thomas, the only starter in double digits tonight for the Lorain High Titans. He's averaging just shy of 3 points and just over 4 rebounds a game. For the home team, the Avon Eagles, coming in at 12-7 on the year, a nice season in the Southwestern Conference, a record in conference 8-4. He's coming out tonight, as mentioned, Tyson Ziegler. He's number 4 on the back in the white jersey, a 6-foot senior guard, averages 12.5 points and 2.8 rebounds a game. Number 5 is that Nolan Good, worked his way not only back from injury but into the starting lineup, and he's already averaging not only 9.8 points a game, but he averages 4.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 2 steals a game, which both of those latter 2 ones are leading stats for the Avon Eagles. Nathan Farley will be number 12. He's the 6'3 senior guard, mostly playing forward, though, in this game tonight. You'll see his height down low. He averages 12.8 points and is the team's leading rebounder at 6.4 a game. And number 14 is Zane Austin, a 6'2 senior guard, 13.4 points and 4.1 rebounds a game. Rounds out your Avon Eagles starting lineup. And number 34 is coming out now in the starters. We got Sam Toniolo out there on the court. So Sam's out there. So I'm going to look back and see who's not. We've got Farley and Austin. We've got Good, and we've got Ziegler. So Toniolo, the 6'5" junior guard, also an accomplished football player as well. He goes up to tip it off against Xavion Emerson, and we're underway here in Avon. Lorain High starts the game with the ball. Coming on the right side now, ball fake up is Isaiah Rouser, works it back on the left side to Guerra Howard. Patience on the Lorain High offense now coming out back to the right side, Josh Evans. Killian gives it back to Guerra Howard. Guerra Howard's going to pull up from the left side of the foul line, and he has the first 2 points of the game and averaging 16.1 a game. We expect to see a lot of that.
And he's one of those scorers that can really reset the pace or increase it mightily in this game.
On the right side now, on the block, right block to Farley. He's kind of boxed up, but gets it across court pass to Ziegler. His 3-pointer's no good. Rebound comes off to Guerra Howard. Quickly ahead says Isaiah Rouser up off the glass, no good. And now stolen on the return to go up the field by Killian, and he lays it up off the left side of the glass. And just like that, Lorain's up 4-zip. 6:51 to go. First quarter just getting underway. It was Nolan Good who hustled back to break up that fast break opportunity for Lorain High, but Killian stood his ground and had that nice steal. Helped convert for Lorain High. Another dangerous cross-court pass that time to Ziegler. Gets it back out top to Good. Good dribbling against Guerra Howard. Drives on the left side. Tried to dump it down on the baseline to Toniolo. But getting in the way of that one is Caden Thomas and knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, and I'm real excited to see that matchup between the 6'4" Thomas and the 6'5" Toniolo. I mean, that could be a real grudge match down in the paint.
And, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on anyone potentially in foul trouble when it gets that physical like that. But these refs, I know, will let them play a certain degree as much as they can. Here comes Ziegler working down the right side of the lane. Off the glass, no good. Rebound by Killian. And Lorain High comes back the other way, still up 4-0. Gets it on the left side with a deep 3. No good. Toniolo grabs the rebound, and Avon comes back the other way. Still looking for their first points at 6:06 to go first quarter. Dribbling around. Zane Austin, then to Good, and now to Ziegler. Ziegler, Toniolo way away from the basket. But he's met out there by Thomas. Very aggressive man-to-man defense by Lorain High. Ziegler trying to break into that, but dumps it off on the left. I'm sorry, Austin trying to break in, but dumps it off to Ziegler, and now Good. Good, and a pull up, and he'll got just enough room to put up a 3, but it's no good. And the rebound comes off to Thomas, and here comes Lorain, still up 4-zip. This is a problem Avon had against their rivals a couple weeks ago. Just could not get things started offensively, and the hole was too big for them to come back from behind on. Talked about the kind of the mental aspect of this game. When you go to non-conference at this time of year with the seedings already in, the pairings already announced, sometimes hard to focus. Not sure if that's part of it tonight, but Lorain trying to take advantage. Killian, well, he was going to pull up for a 3, and now he's going to pull up inside the arc, and he drops it right through. He's got 4. It's 6-0. And Mike Fitch for Avon says, let's talk about this and get things straightened away. 5:02 to go first quarter. Lorain 6-0. We'll be right back with more on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Avon, where it's been all Lorain offensively so far. Asaya Killian dropped a couple 2s in there, and Jaden Guerra Howard as well. Gives a 6-0 lead, and after a quick timeout from Avon's head coach, the Eagles will get back out there.
Yeah, and so far it feels like the Titans are just letting their scorers be more aggressive out there. We'll see how much urgency Avon plays with right now, being down 6 to start the game.
This is Austin, works it over to Farley, gets it down to Toniolo, and turns around against Thomas. It goes way over the rim, no good, and here comes the Titans back the other way. Guerra Howard down on the right corner, guarded by Good, waiting for his pick, gets that. Switch is made, so he's got kind of a quickness advantage there, takes advantage of that, and he has 4. And that's good recognition. Guerra Howard got a bigger guy in him, but Guerra Howard knew he was a quicker move to make, and he made that, got it in. Now, this was Farley trying to find Austin down on the baseline, but it goes through and all the way to the wall, and another Avon turnover. 4:22 to go, and the Eagles have yet to score.
And now Lorain getting some fresh bodies in there. You almost wonder if they wanted to maybe keep some of those starters and keep this hot streak going as long as you can, but now fresh legs against an Avon team that's struggling to score could really benefit them.
Well, I think that's about the fresh legs in the fourth quarter. If you try to ride that a little bit too long in the first half, you pay for it in the fourth quarter, and Coach Killian knows his guys. Guerra Howard, that one is his first miss, but Lorain controls the offensive boards, and the Killian brothers trade passes to get things reset. This is Asaya's number 3, and Avon now in there is the other Killian, and he's wearing a 0 on his back. Asaya still working around. Pull up, deep 3, in and out, no good. Again, another offensive rebound for the Titans, and gets to Guerra Howard, and nice drop down to the block, but misses the shot, and it's controlled by Avon on the rebound, and quickly ahead on the left side is Austin trying to 3, and Avon's on the board. 8-3 Avon, Lorain quickly back the other way, trying to put some pressure on the Avon defense. Quick movement, Guerra Howard again drops it down on the block, but this time it's going to get called for the charging foul as he released the ball. And that's Savon Brown in the game. Not a real big fan of the way these double-digit numbers are on the back of the Lorain jerseys. I wanted to be sure. So turnover and a first foul of the game, and now a break for Avon as they quickly get past the Lorain pressure, and Zane Austin has all 5 of the Avon points, now down by 3. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Avon Killian working against Austin, now backs it out, looking for some place to go, finds Guerra Howard, and then back up to the top to Julian Daniels, and now Avon's going to drive the left side, no good. Rebound comes off, and Ziegler goes the other way for Avon, drops it down on the block, turnaround jumper, short by Paul Leftrick, and Lorain comes right back. Lorain really controlling the boards completely. This is Guerra Howard trying to drive in, but dumps it far left corner for a deep 3, misses everything. Comes down in the hands of Chance Miller. We're seeing all kind of subs for both teams out there. Miller gets it back and now kicks it into the corner. That shot's short. Ollie Jobber comes up short on the 3-pointer, and Matt Killian, the coach of the Lorain High Titans, says, wait a minute, we're getting a little helter-skelter out here. Let's slow things down. Timeout Lorain High, 8-5. The Titans are up on Avon with 2:12 to go in the first quarter. That continues right after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Avon, both coaches have taken a timeout at different points, not really seeing what they want to do, and that reminds you that this games are be spurts, and everyone will get their little streaks, but it's a 2-minute game, and whoever can put the most of those 32 together. So quickly the tide has kind of changed. Avon was struggling to find any offense, and now Lorain's been quiet on the offensive end. Here's Guerra Howard, gets it across the right side to Brown. Now in the game is Everson. He's going to pull up for a 2-pointer. That's in and out, no good. Leftrick with the rebound, gets it out on the left side to Jobber. And now bringing into the front court is Ziegler, working against Killian, the younger Killian. He pulls up just beyond the foul line, shot in and out again, rebound Lorain. Here comes Guerra Howard, 1:36 to go, first quarter. Guerra Howard going to try to take things in his own hands. Shots up and blocked, but he's going to get a foul call on the way up, and we're going to get our first free throws of the game. And we're going to go to the free throw line, which is brought to you by Rewalk Law LLC. Call attorney Chris Rewalk for a free consultation. Chris Rewalk was actually, his picture was in the Chronicle Telegram today, helping out at he's a big part of what happens at the Second Harvest food distribution over there on Baumhart in Lorain. So appreciate his support there and what he does here on our broadcast as Guerra Howard makes that first free throw. Second one up and good. Converts both of them. He's going to take a break as Asaya Killian comes back in. Blair Howard sits down with 6 points, and Lorain's up 10-5.
Yeah, 6 points and a lot of pretty passes so far. So it'll be interesting to see who they choose to run the offense through when they bring it up the court throughout the rest of the quarter here.
Both coaches going pretty deep into their rotation in this first quarter. Definitely not only part of the strategy, I think, for tonight's game, but just this point in the season. You're not looking to run guys' legs out too bad, especially in a non-conference game. That attitude may change a little bit come the second half of the fourth quarter. We'll see how the first minutes go along. Here's Avon trying to work into the lane. Turnaround jumper is no good off a jobber, and the rebound again comes off to Lorain High, and this is Avon Killian coming back the other way. We're approaching a minute left to go in this first quarter. Asaya Killian, guarded closely by Leftrick, backs it out. Gets it out on the right side to Everson. Everson plays catch, gets it back, now loses the dribble, and getting on the floor is Ziegler, and now getting ahead of the crowd is Leftrick, and he has his first 2 of the game. Paul Leftrick comes in averaging 2.4 points and 2.6 rebounds a game. He's already got 2 on the board. It's 10-7, final 37 seconds, first quarter. Killian brothers play catch, and Asaya kind of acts like maybe we're just going to work for the last second shot here in the first quarter for Lorain. Both teams scoring below season averages so far. Killian now works down the left block, pull-up jumper off the glass rim, no good. Left trick rebound, and Nolan Good controls. Good gets it nice. Hey, he'd probably be good at quarterback with a nice outlet pass like that.
Yeah, you think so?
Ziegler into the front court, 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Actually, if he's throwing it like that on the football field, Mike Elder's got problems. It was effective.
You're not wrong.
It was effective, but not the way you throw it on a football field. 3.6 seconds, and we get a foul called. That one's going to go on Guerra Howard. No, it's going to go on Daniels. 1 second to go. Going to launch a desperation three-pointers, no good, and our quarter ends that way with the Titans up 10-7 here in Avon. Second quarter's next. Stay with us on the Lorain County Sports Network. Maybe not the most artistic start to this game with the score up there 10-7, but we knew this was going to be a battle. This is, teams that are really evenly matched, somewhat similar styles, and they're kind of feeling each other out. 4 field goals for Lorain, 3 field goals for Avon, and I think one of the big differences in that game was Lorain really establishing some dominance on the board so far, right, Max?
They really have, whether it's on the defensive end and getting transition going. They have 7 defensive boards and also 3 offensive rebounds to have second chance opportunities on offense. And then Avon had 6 total rebounds right now as a team.
And as a game, 16 total rebounds means 16 missed shots in that first quarter. So I don't expect that to continue, but the defensive pressure's right out there as Good comes across the midcourt line, and Guerra Howard's there to meet him. Good kind of got a hand on Guerra Howard to get around him, but no call there. Left trick trying to dump it down on the baseline and working through the traffic for Avon. Joey Griffith into the game and gets his first 2, and it's a 1-point game.
What a pass by Leftrick there. I don't know how he got it through traffic on that one.
And then we got an offensive foul, and it looks like it's gonna go against Josh Evans as he handed the pass off. Official John Verber there didn't like the contact he made at the not really the traditional pass and crash, but pass and contact, pushed the Avon defender out of the way enough that it's a turnover for the Titans, and Leftrick gets the inlet pass there that was deflected by Killian, but Leftrick keeps his focus on it, and he's already above his season average with 4.
Yeah, great adjustment that time, and they're really finding their passing lanes down to the paint, even if they are congested.
First lead of the game for the Eagles. They didn't even score the first 4 minutes of the game, and now they're up 1. Isaiah Killian pulls up on the left side. Shot no good. Rebound, Joey Griffith. Good gets it across the timeline to Chance Miller. Miller back to the top of the key, and Good running into the front court, gets that. This is Austin with the ball fake, steps left, three-pointers, good. St. Austin has 8 already. He does average 13.4. With these 3 leading scorers for Avon, it's truly an average because any one of them can pop out for 20 points a game, and they'll go with the hot hand. Here's Guerra Howard driving down to the baseline, gets the ball knocked away by Miller, and another turnover results in a break by Avon. Great spin move to avoid the defense by Good, but his shot comes off the glass and misses. And Lorain quickly back the other way. They got some bright green shoes coming off that three-pointer for Lorain High. And that's Isaiah Rouser's first basket of the game and makes it 14-13. Now running again, 3 quick passes into the lane. And that time it's Joey Griffith. He has 4 already. Great inlet passes by Avon and gets them out to their biggest lead now, 16-13. But that's 3 trips down the court. Lorain's got to make some adjustments and guard inside the paint a little better. Guerra Howard pulls up now for his 3. Misses everything. Comes off the left side. Joey Griffith's having a nice first half here. And this is Paul Leftrick, another one of those football names we called so often in the fall. Brings it into the front court.
And it is a pretty special thing. You bring Tony Olo out and Griffiths comes in. Does just as good.
Leftrick goes for a deep 3, misses everything. He hits the deck afterwards, but might have to remind him the Performing Arts Hall is down the hallway right here.
Next couple doors.
That wasn't enough. He was trying to make a foul out of that, but certainly the official wasn't buying it and call it a team rebound for Lorain on that one, but it adds to their rebounding totals. So they bring it into the front court, 5:12 to go in the half. Patient offense. This is Guerra Howard working against Leftrick, waiting for the pick. I tried to catch Avon between a switch, but Eagles defense recovers. And now driving up and laying it in. Another Josh Evans. His first 2 of the game. 1-point basketball game. It's everything we expected it to be so far. The second quarter a little bit more consistent offensively for both of the teams than that first quarter kind of struggled on. They were looking for another one of those inlet passes, and Miller kind of hesitated, or Joey Griffith hesitated, but Avon recovers. Then there's another shot that misses everything, and Isaiah Killian gets the rebound, coming back the other way, 4:23 to go in the half. Killian, quick move, goes to the glass, block. That one's Joey Griffith all over the place. Nolan Good coming back the other way, takes contact on the basket, almost gets stepped on as he hit the deck. And Thomas was coming in to try to grab a rebound. That was a little dangerous play, but Good's used to those, and he's going to go to the line. This will be the first trip to the charity stripe for Avon so far today. You know, Edwin Vereen sitting next to me. He wants us to call that Steve Lawson slam dunk of the game at some point tonight. We definitely got the athletes to be able to do that. As Good drops his first of the 2 free throws in, and we get line changes from both teams. We get 3 new in for Lorain and 2 on the court new for Avon, with a third one replacing Good if he makes the free throw here. 4:15 to go in the half. Good second. Good. 18-15 matches the largest lead of the game for Avon. At one point, Lorain had a 6-point lead in the first quarter, and in a matter of a quarter, they've turned it around from a 6-point deficit to a 3-point lead, the Eagles have.
And if I'm the Titans here, I'd really like to try to pull the big men for Avon out of the paint, and Guerra Howard in the pick and roll situation is so dangerous. We'll see it right here.
And Guerra Howard's going to give the pass up, and that's going to generate a foul. That foul is going to be on Farley. Still only the first team foul on Avon in this quarter. We're halfway through the quarter, only 2 on Lorain, so free throws have not been an issue yet this game, 2 each and for each team, and they've made it all 4 of the free throws attempted tonight. Guerra Howard, Asai Killian. I didn't think he was going to launch that one, but Avon's defense making sure. Guerra Howard still working. Now going to take it himself. Oh, beautiful dish as he saw Toniolo coming over. He made a great pass across the lane. He finds Savon Brown for his first 2 of the game, and we're back to a 1-point difference. 3.5 to go first half. Avon working on the right side. Pass gets in. Going to be a little delayed whistle. Farley got hit on the more towards the elbow even than the wrist, but definitely caused that ball to fall way short of the basket. With 3:22 to go, he'll go to the line. This is our first missed free throw of the game as Isaiah Rouser, number 2, is back on the court for the Titans.
Yeah, as you mentioned, both teams doing a great job staying out of foul trouble so far.
It was something we were concerned about with it being a physical game. And although I think this officiating crew will let them play to a certain extent because they know the type of players that are on the court, there really hasn't been anything, that they've passed on so far. Just call what you see and let the kids play. Deep 3 from the right side this time, and it drops. Isaiah Rouser, his second 3 of the quarter, 6 points on the game, and it gives Lorain the lead back, which they haven't seen since early in this quarter. Now this is Ziegler working against pressure way out top, and they find Austin on the left side. His 3 misses badly. I'm sorry, that was Farley, and now coming back the other way is Guerra Howard. He hesitates at the line, drives in the lane, takes a little bit of contact, all off the rim, no good. Rebound, Avon. Eagles doing a better job on the boards this quarter. And coming into the front court is Colton Fitch. We're going to talk about his family at halftime. But right now, we got to talk about Zane Austin because he's hit 3 threes, and he's already in double digits, the first player on the night to hit the double-digit mark. He's got 11, and Avon has the lead back, 2-point lead with 2:20 to go.
I mean, Austin, he's been so patient tonight. He hasn't forced a lot of shots, just letting the game come to him, and that's what's really sparked this comeback here from being down 6-0 to start the game.
This is Avon Killian around top. Isaiah Rouser on the right side, back to Avon. His brother Asayat taking a break right now. Avon doesn't have that height, and that's why I'm surprised when he picked up his dribble that Avon didn't bring out more defense to try to see if they could exploit that. 1:50 to go. This has been already over a 30-second possession, and now out of that, we're going to get a deep 3 from the left side. It's no good. Battle for the rebound underneath. Multiple players on the floor, and we're going to get a tie-up. And everyone hustling, but then as things ended, Fitch almost sat down on Rouser's head, who was on the floor trying to grab the ball as they were both all battling to get it. They're going to get a held ball, and the alternating possession arrow favors the Titans, so they'll get the possession. Continue on this end of the court. We're down to 1:38 to go in the half. Asaya Killian back in the game for Lorain. Works it on the right side and then bounces off his leg, but controls it. Now going to try to drive the lane. A lot of help from the Avon defense, but he gets the ball all the way out to Howard. He gets it back to Killian. Tries a 3, no good. Rebound Avon. Tries to sneak the pass into Thomas, cutting down the lane, but goes through his hands, and here comes the Eagles the other way. Down on the baseline is Farley, and he gets contact from behind as he takes the shot up. It goes in. He's going to get a chance for the N1 as he puts Avon now up. This is their biggest lead, 4 points, 24-20, and he has a chance to extend it here at the line.
And that's a great job just being alert in transition by the Eagles.
Lefterick gets the offensive rebound. He didn't have anyone to go give it to, but he was heads up enough to drop it to a place where the Eagles could protect possession as Ziegler ran back into the front court. Final minute of the first half. Avon coming back from 6 down, now up 4, 24-20. Lefterick working around the top of the key, and now we're going to get an offensive foul, and I believe that's on Toniolo, because you can see kind of look on his face as the whistle blew. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. For him, just his first, and on the team, only the second of that quarter. So probably going to end the quarter here without getting to the foul line through the bonus situation. With see what Guerra Howard has in mind for the Lorain High offense, ticking out 45 seconds ago. First quarter, it was 38 seconds ago, and Lorain High was happy to work for the last shot. So it looks like what their strategy is going to be here, as we're now down to about 35. Thomas gets back to Guerra Howard, going to drive the left side. He is going to put up the shot. It's no good, and rebound comes off to Farley. Farley bringing it ahead, gets pressure, and then knocked away by Killian. And as Killian gets the ball back to Daniels, Daniels gets fouled by Farley, so bad exchange there for Farley and the Avon Eagles. And for Farley, that is his second. 24.9 on the clock. This is Guerra Howard starting this possession for Lorain High. Stick around. We're going to talk with Mr. Bill Fitch, already making his way up to our broadcast area to talk about this incredible connection that the Fitch family has to Avon basketball and Lorain County basketball in general. Last 10 seconds. Guerra Howard dribbling it out. Probably, picks up his dribble. I say that's when Guerra Howard usually will make a dribble move and get to the lane, but going to try Isaiah Killian. He didn't get that one off in time, so both quarters end with the teams working away for the final possession and then ended up with a really bad shot. So that's maybe something both teams can work on, because we've got a good one going here. And Avon has squeezed out to the lead after only a 7-point first quarter. They put up 17 in the second quarter and make it a 4-point lead over Lorain, which had matching quarters of 10 apiece. And we'll get to our halftime show and talk about the stats and run down all the scores and get a chance to talk to Mr. Bill Fitch. So stay with us here. Lots of fun to come on this Fat Tuesday on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Avon, John Guzik along with Max Drummond. We thought we'd have a good game tonight. We have one. It's Avon 24, Lorain 20. As we get to halftime, we get a chance to talk to someone who has a lot to do with Avon basketball. This is Bill Fitch, and I have to start by saying, Bill, I first met Bill when I was playing CYO basketball, and he was one of our officials over there at the old Lorain St. Mary's gym. So when give me your background. When did you officiated for how many years?
Well, yeah, basically, our family has been in Avon. My grandkids that are playing right now are the eighth generation. And my dad attends most of the games. He turned 101 on November 29th, and he averages probably 8 to 10 basketball games a week between between my.
I thought you were going to say a season.
No,
my goodness.
Between my grandkids, I have my son's assistant coach at Avon Lake.
Okay, so let's start with that. Your son is Kevin.
Yes.
Who's assistant coach. Are you allowed to say those words
yes.
when you're part of the Avon basketball family?
Yeah.
All right, so he's over across the tracks. Over here, let's start. What's your relation to Mike Fitch?
That's my brother's son. It's his youngest son, so he'd be my nephew.
So your nephew is the head coach of
at Avon.
Your son is assisting at Avon Lake. And
yes.
now we just mentioned, we've talked a couple of times, we mentioned the name Colton Fitch. So how does he fit in?
Colton Fitch would be the Mike's nephew.
Mike's nephew.
Yes.
So we're a little more distant relation to you.
Right.
But still part of that Fitch Avon family. Now,
yeah,
I know.
I actually have I have 4 children myself, all living in Avon. They went through Avon. My wife graduated from Avon. My brother's wife also graduated from Avon. We at one time, I've got 11 grandkids, 9 of which were all between the middle school and high school at the same time.
Well, I was going to say, right now at the Avon girls team, which we're going to be here on Saturday broadcasting the game, we're going to have a couple Fitches on that roster as well, right?
Yes. Kevin's daughter, Emma, played pretty much JVs, and she's kind of moved up to varsity because they had a few girls that got hurt. So she started the last 2 games, on Avon varsity. My other daughter, Josie Maruskin, is my second oldest daughter's.
And so let's go back to you. You went to Avon High School.
Yes.
And at that time, how large was your graduating class?
We were 106 at that time.
And I think now your granddaughters, is it over? It's
part of like
close
360
to
or
getting on that 400 type thing, right?
Yes.
So you've seen things change, but you guys have been a part of this, not only the basketball landscape, but the golf landscape as well. So a lot of people know you through golf.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough in high school to be part of Avon's 60-game winning streak that they had taken place. We had three guys that made All-State, Rich DeShant, Bill Chapman, and Mark Wager back to back. So it's been a pretty successful program at that time.
And you've seen all this growth come around you. So as that kind of, like you said, now in the 8th generation of Fitches, you guys have, obviously the growth of Avon, you guys have still embraced that and stay here in the Avon community.
Yeah, my dad graduated in 1941, played at our village school down on Detroit Road, where you played the walls being out of bounds. That's how small the gym was at that time. Even when I was in high school, we had which is now the middle or the kindergarten school, right. And the village school. That was the only 2 gyms, other than we had a couple barns, Jensen's barn on Route 83, where there was quite a few games played inside there. A lot of our playing was done in Lorain, Avon, Elyria. We didn't travel like these young kids are going out of state and everything else, but it was a lot of fun at that time.
Let's go back. First of all, before we go back to you, I want to. Who would you say on the basketball side, male or female, which Fitch maybe had the most accomplished basketball career?
Probably my brother David. He lives in Houston right now, but he was 6 years younger. They had a fairly good team at that time. I think he still may hold the free throw shooting percentage record in Avon. Wow.
And now, if you see, Bill is wearing this sharp quarter zip. That NOOA stands for Northern Ohio Officials Association, one of my fellow basketball officials. So talk a little bit about your history as an official. How long did that went on, and maybe a highlight that sticks in your mind?
I finished after 50 years of officiating, probably 47 or 48 on a pretty active schedule. Did some women's Division III college games. I actually was fortunate enough to do a boys high school final down at Columbus and a girls high school final. So I felt really privileged of being able to have done that. Throughout the years, quite a few regionals, districts, saw quite a few pretty good ball players come through that time.
Yeah, what a career. 50 years of officiating on top of all the things you did in your own athletic career leading up to that. And we appreciate you taking some time today, because I cannot keep track of this. And, I'm one of those guys who lives on the other side of the track, so I see Kevin more often. And the first time I saw him in the summer wearing purple and gold, I was like, did something happen that I didn't know about? But it was his kids now playing through Avon AAU teams in the summer league. So I had to adjust to that, and it was a little bit of a shock when I saw it the first time, I got to tell you, but I understand it all, and that's why I asked you to come and be a part of our halftime show today, so we could lay all this all out, because you're going to hear Fitch names for still years to come in Avon sports.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, Kevin has a change of clothes in the car depending on what school he's going
Which
into.
side of the tracks he's on. Exactly. Appreciate that. Bill Fitch here on the halftime show. Appreciate you coming in. Nice that we actually have a couple extra minutes added to the halftime today because of all the dancers that have been out on the court. So we're going to get a couple minutes. We'll take a break here. We'll come back, break down all the stats, and run down the top scorers from this first half and get you ready for what should be a really exciting second half here. And Bill, any predictions on your end of what's going to happen with this game? You've seen a lot more Avon basketball than any of us have.
Yeah, I have to stay with the home team here. They've got a lot of kids hustling out there, playing well, and just hope for the best for them.
Well, here we go. We're going to find out together right after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. It's the halftime show brought to you by Health Markets Insurance. Uninsured, enrolled today with Jeff Allison in Amherst. And I had a little conversation with Athletic Director Eric Frombeck here at Avon earlier. I said, hey, I got some ideas of what we should do for the halftime show, who we want to talk to. I wonder who's going to be there. He says, I really like that Fitch family tie-in because it is so intricate. And I mentioned about golf. You know, the Fitch family runs Bobolink Golf Course. Bill did that for years and years. And of course, the Fitch Farm Market, part of that. There's other Fitch family members that actually were officials. Many of them are teachers in this area. So all the different things we could have got into. But let's talk about this game now. So we did get a couple extra minutes at the half for the extra entertainment that the Avon was presenting out there with the young dancers. But let's get into our scoring for the Lorain Titans. I mentioned two scorers each of 10 points. They end up with Guerra Howard having 6, and Isaiah Rouser dropped a couple threes in the second quarter. He also has 6. Asaya Killian with 4 points, and the other 2 points from Josh Evans, 2 for him, and Savon Brown, 2 as well. For the Avon Eagles, started a little slow, didn't score for the first 4 minutes of the game, ended up with 7 in the first quarter, but then added 17 in the second quarter to get to a 24-point total at the half and this 4-point lead. Nolan Good made 2 free throws. 4 points for Paul Leftrick off the bench. Nathan Farley contributed 3. 4 points for Joey Griffith, also off the bench, and leading the way for the Avon offense so far tonight. Number 14 is Zane Austin. He's dropped 3 threes, also a 2-pointer. He's the only player in double digits tonight with 11. We'll get into some of the other stats that were important here in the first quarter as Max Drummond is keeping track of a lot of numbers.
Well, what seems to stand out so far, to me at least, is we talked about the battle of the rebounds. And, I mean, at the start, Avon was really getting out-rebounded by a lot. The opening quarter was rough on them, but they've been able to step it up, get 10 total rebounds as a team now. And, you know, Lorain's still doing pretty well at that. They're at 16, but a lot of that is inflated from that first quarter. And then from beyond the three-point line, both teams are struggling. All their three-pointers have come from one player on each side. Zane Austin obviously has hit 3, and on the other side, Isaiah Rouser with 2 3-pointers for Lorain. So we'll see if anybody else can find consistency from out there, because if not, it's just going to come down to those big guys in the paint.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about the rebounds is very much key to this game. And the scores have followed. Lorain was definitely out-rebounding earlier, had a 6-point lead. When Avon started rebounding better in the second quarter, they turned it around by a difference of 10 points to have now this 4-point lead. And our rebound report is brought to you by Romeo's Pizza, locally owned and operated in LaGrange and Lorain. Can you get jambalaya on a pizza? That's a Fat Tuesday thing, right? You can combine the two.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, right? Why not? Appreciate them, all our sponsors. One thing I know we can have, and it's within walking distance of here, we're going to have our Peace, Love, and Little Donuts post-game show, and they had punchki today. Mm-hmm. So punchki today, pierogi tomorrow. It's a great night for a Pollock here in Avon, Ohio. I'm John Guzik along with Max Drummond, getting ready for the second half of this non-conference matchup. Lorain High and Avon, and the Eagles will start the second half with the ball. Coming in to Nolan Good, gets the inbound pass from Zane Austin. Mentioned he's our leading scorer so far. This is Tyson Ziegler getting it on the baseline, working through traffic and getting it up and in. Tyson Ziegler averaging 12.5 points a game, shut out in the first half, but he changes that quickly here in the second half, and the Eagles now have their largest lead of the game. Guerra Howard way out by the center circles, directing traffic. Asaya Killian on the left side, back to Howard, driving down the baseline against 2 guys, and Nolan Good blocks his shot out of bounds. Good start to the first 30 seconds of the second half for the host. Maybe Bill Fitch had a little premonition there.
He was very fired up at the end of that half there, just over the little mistakes that he knows these guys can fix, and especially this late in the season.
Guerra Howard working around. Dribble against Good. Now going to drive into the lane, going to make a move. Good got a hand on that one, but now they're going to call a foul that he hit him on the arm as well. Nolan questioned that one, but it's going to be his first foul of the game, and we're going to send Guerra Howard to the foul line, which he made his first two back in the first quarter. Only the second time the Titans have gotten themselves to the charity stripe. First one up and off.
And it is surprising we haven't seen them there more, especially with their track record this season. As a team, 72% from the line, very efficient rate at the high school level.
Second one's up and in. So it's a 5-point game, 7:17 to go in the third quarter. Good into the front court. Guerra Howard jumps at him. Good maintains his dribble. Dumps it in. This is Austin. Back to Ziegler. Again, Titans man-to-man defense extending it and then trying to help out on the baseline. And that time Killian knocks it away. And now it's into the backcourt, and Killian tracks it down. He's the first one to it, lays it off the left side of the glass and in. And Asaya now has 6. Looks like we're back to a one-possession game. Austin works his way to the foul line, kicks it out to Ziegler on the right side. Inlet pass is knocked away by, guess who? Asaya Killian. And Guerra Howard going to run the court. Shot up no good, contested by Austin. Rebound comes off to Lorain, and picking up another foul is Nathan Farley, and that's going to be the first of our players tonight to get himself in foul trouble.
Yeah, and just a good job there in transition.
I'm sorry, foul's on Josh Evans on Lorain, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that man defense, that's something Coach Fitch talked about. Very different from mid-view zone that they ran. So right now, Lorain posing a few problems to open this third quarter.
This is good. Way dangerous pass, floated over to the left side. Finds an open Ziegler, and he's making up for lost time as he's got the first 2 baskets of this second half for the Eagles. 5 total, and is back up to a 6-point lead. Guerra Howard looking for some direction from the bench as he crosses the timeline. Killian on the right side. Back to Guerra Howard. Giving him room to take that 3. That's a makeable shot for him. He says, sure, I'll take it. And guess what? Guy's going to make it.
It's almost like he couldn't believe it at first. He's like, if it's there, you're going to let it fly.
Guerra Howard in double figures. He's got 10. Good inlet pass. Drops it down on the block to Toniolo. Moving without the ball, and Sam has his first 2. 5-point game, 5.5 to go. Third quarter here in Avon. Guerra Howard driving, dumps it down on the baseline to Killian, who pulls it back out on the right side for a deep 3. Thomas controls the rebound. Guerra Howard and Killian playing catch. Killian left all by himself. That one's a little long. And Toniolo with the rebound for Avon. They come back the other way with a 5-point lead with just over 5 to go in the third quarter. Working that left baseline, and then it hits the baseline as it got knocked out of his hand by Thomas. There's going to be a turnover as it hit the baseline, and Lorain's going to try to take advantage as we're now under 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
And that third turnover here in less than half of the third quarter, it matches what Avon turned the ball over the whole first half. Great job by the Titans defense so far here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, their offense is a little bit same, but there's a beautiful pass drop down at Asaya Killian moving without the ball. He has 8, and it's now back to a 3-point game. Nolan Good working on the right side. Takes dribble, loses it, but controlled and gets handed off to Ziegler. And Titans keep extending that man-to-man defense far out. But now on the pick, coming off with Zane Austin. He takes advantage of the contact from the pick. Put his defender, Josh Evans, on the ground, and that left Austin open for the 3. And he's got 14 now. 6-point lead. We're halfway through the third quarter. Non-conference matchup between the Eagles and Lorain High here on the Lorain County Sports Network. John Guzik and Max Drummond enjoying this Tuesday evening with you. Jader Howard trying to work in and now across the lane and works all the way back to the other side of the block. His shot goes up, and he goes to the ground, and he'll go to the line. Let's see who they're going to call this foul on. I'm not sure who they caught on the foul. Nolan Good apparently thinks it's on him because, yes, he's disagreeing pretty strongly. Did not agree with the call. That might not be the first time a player did not agree with a foul call on him by him.
Yeah, he was certainly pleading
First
his
or
case.
second time, I'm not sure which one it is. Guerra Howard's first free throw is short. He started out well from the free throw line for both teams. Now not going so well. Like you said, Lorain shoots over 72% from the foul line, and right now they're just shooting 60%, but Guerra Howard improves upon that. He's got 11. It's a 5-point game. And here come the Eagles. And I know as Michael Allison pans our camera to the right, we see that the Eagle nest is, about a third full, but they've been rather quiet tonight. See, I don't know if they're going to try to get that home crowd into it. Well, now there's a pass right into the Eagles nest. Not exactly what the Avon Eagles wanted. It's another turnover. And Lorain going to continue to work into this lead if they can. Down by 5, 3.5 to go, third quarter. A lot of patience by, it's like there's two speeds for the Lorain offense. It's like we're fast breaking, or we're really having a methodical offensive set. This time working his Rouser. He's been quiet so far this half, but that one comes off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound controlled by Avon, and Paul Leftrick into the front court. Gives it back over to Ollie Jobber. Gets it down, and beautiful pass back to Farley has 5.
Yeah, great cut that time backdoor. Ziegler finds him. That's just too easy of a pass for the senior.
This is Guerra Howard. Again, we're back to that kind of methodical look by the Titans offense. Working it around. Back to Guerra Howard. He's going to work into the lane. Kicks it out on the left side. Ball fake on the three-pointer. Drives into the block. Turnaround jumper. No good. Leftrick rebound. Quickly gets it over to Austin, who gets it into the front court. Farley running the court. Gets it into the lane. Shot up. Good. Farley with back-to-back shots gives us the biggest lead of the game by either team, and that's a reason for Lorain High to take a full timeout as the Eagles are now up 38-29 with 2:15 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back with the next steps of this one on the Lorain County Sports Network. Streaming live from Avon tonight as the Eagles take on Lorain High. We're going to be back on this exact same spot next Tuesday, as it'll be another conference game for the Eagles, and they'll welcome the Amherst Comets in. Amherst is playing at home against Vermilion tonight. They're up by 10 at the half, 27-17. So we'll be looking for them here next week. Also coming up at halftime is Elyria Catholic playing Cuyahoga Heights. They're down by 2 as they go to the half. And how about this for an upset? Brookside up 48-27 on Berea Mid-Park. Wow. So non-conference game, so it doesn't help the Avon Eagles in their quest to get to the top of the Southwestern Conference, but it's quite a startling score. Part of the reason, like many people don't know, especially being a Berea team, but one of the top players for Berea, I'll let Josiah Killian go to the lane and gets his shot blocked, recovers it, and gets it back up and in. For Asaya, he's now in double digits. He's got 10, averaging 11.8 on the game, and it's a 7-point game. We'll get back to that thought about Berea when we get a chance later. We're in the final minute and a half of this third quarter. Avon working the ball, kicks it back out to Ziegler. Ziegler with 5 points already this quarter. This is left trick on the left side. Gets a pick and then drops it back to his picker, Ali Jobber. And then Jobber's going to get called for an offensive foul, creating some space there in the corner right in front of the Avon cheerleaders. Going to be, should be his first of the game, I guess. The second. So for Berea, one of their starting players, and he has a brother on the team, he actually graduated early so he could get down to Cincinnati because he's going to be part of the Bearcats football team next year. And ever since he left the team, I mean, it's still a very competitive Berea team, but Brookside apparently running on him tonight. Here comes Guerra Howard, works into the key, gets the ball knocked away by Jobber, and this time Jobber is going to be the one getting fouled. It's only the second foul of the quarter for Lorain, so it's going to be ball out of bounds. It stops that fast break. So some of these fouls now with the new rule about the 5 fouls is you give up that foul late in the quarter, especially if it prevents the team from getting a fast break. Gives the Lorain High defense a chance to set here with a couple substitutions. And this is Ziegler getting it off on the left side to Good. We now get it dropped down on the block to Jobber. Shot up, no good. Guerra Howard with the rebound. 42 to go in the quarter. Lorain High to try to break in further to this 7-point lead. Guerra Howard coming in and gets met by Ziegler, and Ziegler's going to get called for the foul. We got a secondary whistle, and Sean Verba's going to come up and have some words with Mike Fitch, because there might have been some either activity or words between teams, so he's advising his coach. I think that's what the message was, hey, let's stick with talking to, as we say in the officiating world, white talk to white, black talk to black. Here we've got 37.9 to go in the third quarter. Team in the black jersey is going to inbound. That's Asaya Killian looking into Guerra Howard way deep back by the timeline. Now puts a move on, dumps it back. 30 seconds to go. This is Asaya going to back it out. This twice now I've said Lorain's going to work for the final shot, and then they end up looking for a shot, not necessarily trying to hold it. And Asaya's going to drive the baseline, get met by Golden Good. It's hammered as he goes up. The Good's foul was strong enough to keep the basket from going in, but it's certainly going to send Killian to the line. For Asaya, his first trip to the stripe today. And again, our thanks to all of our sponsors, and Chris Rewalk. LLC brings you the free throw line. Call attorney Chris Rewalk for a free consultation. 7 points. We stuck at this score for a while. And we still are. Chance Miller's number 3, Joey Griffiths number 21. Both put in some very productive minutes in the first half for Avon, coming in for these final 18.1 seconds of the third quarter.
Yeah, of course, we had a very clean first half by most metrics, but this third quarter has been a lot of whistles, a lot of fouls, a lot of turnovers, contributing to a slower scoring end of the third quarter.
Avon Eagles happy with it. They've got out to their biggest lead was 9. It's now a 6-point lead, trying to extend that here before the quarter ends. 6 seconds to go. Leftrick. Good, great pass on the run. Hits Joey Griffith. Griffith has 6, puts it back to an 8-point lead as the buzzer sound to end the third quarter here in Avon. We're going to go right down to the wire on this one, I'm pretty sure. So stay with us as it's Avon 40, Lorain 32 with the fourth quarter up next on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Avon here on the Lorain County Sports Network, and just as we do on WOBL, WDLW games, stick around for our post-game show where we'll talk to the winning coach and we'll award several awards, talk to some of the players of the winning team as well. Right now it's Avon up by 8, 40-32. Looking at some scores, we already got some finals in from across the area. Clearview huge win over Fairview tonight. Double-digit win, 72-57. The Clippers beat the Warriors. Meanwhile, Columbia out of the Lorain County League, as is Clearview, beats Open Door 82-59. And in a lower scoring game, we're still looking at keeping an eye on that Brookside Berea game, as well as Elyria Catholic Cuyahoga Heights. There's some scores we've had for you here. Lorain starts the fourth quarter with the ball and trying to eat into this 8-point margin that Avon has created. And in the corner, deep three is short. Coming off and running is the Avon Eagles. And this is Miller going to the hoop and off the glass and in. Chance Miller has his first two of the game. 10-point lead is the biggest margin all game, and Chance Miller comes up with a steal. Quickly ahead to Leftrick. Running the court is Ziegler. Off the reverse layup is no good, but they control the rebound for Joey Griffith. And Avon will reset their offense up 10 now, and now trying to add to that from the corner three is no good. Rebound comes off to Rouser and ahead to Guerra Howard. Looks behind him and then heads to the side, the baseline, dumps it to Thomas. He's going to get the traveling calls. One of those kind of ones in between. When you look at that, you can't travel if you don't have the ball, and he seemed to bobble it at least briefly. But the official said he gathered it, had possession, and kept stepping. So turnover on that break goes for nothing for Lorain High, and Avon back on the offensive end, up by 10. Chance Miller, great in pass to Ziegler on the baseline. Gets around his defender and then gets contact from behind by Thomas. And for Thomas, that's actually only his first foul of the game, but it's going to send Tyson Ziegler to the line for the first time today. And Ziegler at a 12.5 average is actually Nathan Farley's 12.8 and Zane Austin's 13.4. All three of them being basically within a point of each other. As I mentioned earlier, that's one of the things that makes them really hard to defend, because it's not like they're all out there scoring 12 and 13 a game. There's any game, one of them will have 20, 22, and they'll go with the hot hand. And now back in is Nathan Farley. That's 12 coming in. Joey Griffiths, great production out of him in limited minutes tonight.
So he's been a force down low, even getting a block for the Eagles, and obviously his rebounding and his willingness to move without the ball on offense has been really key for them.
Well, until that free throws, Joey Griffiths was actually outpointing Tyson Ziegler as well. But for Ziegler now, he has 7, converting both of those free throws, and it's now extended to a 12-point lead for the Eagles. Spinning into the lane is Killian's got really nowhere to go, but finally does find Xavier Everson. His first 2 of the game. Back to a 10-point lead. Leftrick looking. Ziegler, we know he can hit that 3. Tries to drive it in. Gets met by defense. Long cross-court pass goes to Miller. Miller going to drive the baseline. Long bounce pass to Leftrick. Beautiful inlet pass inside to Ziegler. Well, I tell you what, the way Avon is not afraid to have those quick passes into the paint, it's really hard to stop. Guerra Howard gets stopped on that one as his drive to the basket goes off the rim, and Avon quickly back the other way, up 12, matching their biggest lead of the game. We're down to 5:42 to go in the game. This is Ziegler working against Killian, trying to get past him, working down to the block. Killian blocks his shot, out of bounds. Zane Austin back in the game now, 14 in the white jersey for the Eagles. 5:34 to go, 12-point lead matches the largest deficit that Lorain High has faced today. Leftrick looking again. Great pass on the block. This time the recipient is Nathan Farley. Farley now has 9.
And that just speaks to the gravity of Zane Austin, who was coming off of the other side of that screen.
They do keep moving. Avon wanted that pass and crash. That time they are going to get the charge. That one's going to be on Killian and going to be his 3rd. Turnovers are something that's really starting to haunt Lorain High here in the second half. Avon taking advantage, and certainly their defense a big part of that. Lorain High's got to do something now. They're about on a precipice of losing touch with them Avon Eagles. Remember, Lorain High at one point in this game was up by 6 in the first quarter. So we've had a 20-point turnaround as Avon's now up by 14 and trying to make it more is Chance Miller, but that one's no good. Lorain High's got a fast break opportunity. Heading to the basket, laying it nicely off the glass as he goes to the ground. Great shot. And it's back to a 12-point margin, 4:49 to go. This is good. Working down to the left block, step back jumper off the glass and good. Good has 4. That's his first field goal of the game. And after that shot goes in by Xavion Everson, getting his second basket to make it a 12-point lead. We get a quick timeout off the Lorain bench. It's a 30, but it gives us just a chance to take a breath. And we'll be right back with the rest of this game on the Lorain County Sports Network. The pace has picked up, and so far, Avon's been able to keep it out at a double-digit lead. Currently 12 points with 4:35 to go. See the intensity pick up a little bit for Lorain, and that timeout was called because they wanted to set up their full-court pressure, and it almost worked right off the bat as Guerra Howard created some confusion as Miller came across the timeline, but it goes out of bounds off of Guerra Howard's leg, and Avon continues the possession. 4:30 and counting now here in the fourth quarter. Avon in the front court. That's Nolan Good. And as Killian tries to snatch it from behind, he gets called for contact. And for Isaiah, that's going to be his 4th already now. So he's the first player really in foul trouble. Avon brings Ziegler back in, number 4, as Chance Miller goes to the bench. We're talking about the two guys, Chance Miller and Joey Griffiths, two guys that really stood out coming off the bench, making some contributions. And there's another great pass to the baseline and take advantage. This time it's Zane Austin who's found and makes the first basket of the fourth quarter. He's got 16. 8 Lorain answers. Now an 11-point game with the three-pointer. Now we're going to get a timeout off the Avon bench. Mike Fitch trying to get an official's attention for a while there. Certainly didn't want to risk a turnover, and he able to keep the possession alive. And we're going to take a quick break and be right back with the final half of the fourth quarter after this on the Lorain County Sports Network. Tell you what, the pace of the Lorain deep offense has definitely increased, but Avon's been able to match them so far.
That's right. We've just had a lot of back and forth possessions right here, and it's, as soon as you think, oh, maybe they could go on a run, the other team just responds.
Yeah, and for Lorain, when you're down double digits here in the fourth quarter, you can't go with just trading baskets. You got to get some stops. Now on the baseline, getting all kinds of pressure as Austin gets it out to Farley, who then kicks it back out to Ziegler. And Isaiah Killian comes out. Killian does have those quick hands, though, and he's got that length. He's knocked the ball away a few times. Definitely capable. And there he goes, getting a hand on the ball there, and it ends up being a turnover. And as the ball is caught, a foul is called on Ziegler as he knocks him to the ground. And for Ziegler, that's going to be his second. Rouser up and okay. Guerra Howard into the front court. 11-point lead. Was 14 at one point. Still plenty of time for Lorain to create some offense. Isaiah Killian works it back out. Now going to step back three with kind of a jump stop hop, but his shot's no good, and the rebound comes off to Farley, who's into the front court to Ziegler, who dumps it down, streaking on the left side. was Austin. The shot's blocked, but Paul Leftrick there to clean things up, and Leftrick has 6. 13-point lead. Guerra Howard right back the other way and lays it off the right side of the glass. Guerra Howard's first 2 of the fourth quarter. Guerra Howard has 13 now. Now you get a break for Lorain High as they knock the ball away and create another turnover. Come back the other way. And Guerra Howard looks at the three-pointer and then dishes it off on the left side. That's Rouser in and out, no good. Rouser already has 3 made threes today. That one falls in and out of the basket. And Avon comes back the other way. Ziegler trying to flip it up, no good. Rebound is right there for Nathan Farley. Puts it back up and in. And now Nathan Farley's in double figures as he has 11 on the game. And it's back to a 13-point lead for the Eagles. And Mike Fitch is going to take a full timeout, invites his players to take a seat, take a break. We'll take a breath and be right back here with more of the fourth quarter from Avon on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Avon, John Guzik along with Max Drum, and I'll call Avon my home for the next 8 days. We'll be back here on Saturday on WOBL for the girls tournament game. And this crew will be back here next Tuesday for a Southwestern Conference game against Amherst. Appreciate you listening and watching tonight, and certainly appreciate all the sponsors who make all this happen. You see them scrolling on the screen constantly throughout the game. Please patronize them when you're in the market for those businesses. And if you want to mention that you follow on the Lorain County Sports Network, we appreciate that too. Places like Lorain County Community College, your year, your classes, your future. This is Jordan Guerra Howard for Lorain, trying to create some offense between him and Asaya Killian. Ball fake goes up, gets Ziegler in the air, drives to the baseline, but can't make the shot fall. Nolan Good comes across with the rebound, and Zane Austin gets it back out to Ziegler, now to Farley. Farley stuck at just above the free throw line, looking, gets it back to Ziegler. Final 2 minutes, still 13-point lead. Times are getting tough for Avon, and that might be it for Asaya Killian, as that's going to be his 5th, and he's going to foul out, putting that hand out on the ball handler. It's only the 4th foul in the quarter by Lorain High, so Matt Killian gets 20 seconds to get his son out of the game and get a substitute in for him, and he's going to choose off the bench is Aiden Atkins. We saw Aiden out there in the JV game as well. Now here comes Avon, trying to protect his 13-point lead and put away a non-conference win. Beautiful pass. This time it's Farley finding Austin. How many different combinations do they have of running and cutting into the lane? And then now we have the biggest lead of the game for the Eagles. 15 points with only 96 seconds to go is going to make it really tough for Lorain High to come away with this one and a win. This is Guerra Howard. Gets another basket up and in. 1:27 to go. Full court pressure from the Titans, but they beat it easily with a long lob pass to Leftrick. And guess what? Running the court and getting into the lane this time is Zane Austin. He gets hammered as he goes up, and he'll go to the line. Try to seal this one away.
And his patience and scoring with ease, just finding easy looks. I mean, that's been the difference for Avon here, especially in the second half, and what's helped them be able to pull away on that offensive end.
I'll tell you one of the things, tough to pick really a player of the game in this week. I mean, this is certainly a team victory for the Avon Eagles, but join us for our post-game show. We expect to have a few minutes with Mike Fitch, the head coach, and at least one of the Avon winning players up here as we get to award player of the game, shooting star type things. And one of the guys definitely going to be in a conversation for that is the guy who just made that shot, Zane Austin. Makes both pair of his free throws, puts it back out to a 15-point lead. And he's got 20. Guerra Howard trying to answer with a deep three. A little deep off the rim, and rebound comes off to Zane Austin, and Avon's going to look to run this one out. Good night for both teams. I mean, good tournament experience, for Lorain High to get this type of opponent as they look to get into the postseason on the 28th against North Canton Hoover. And for Avon, certainly trying to build on their winning season as well. Going to be their 13th win of the season. 32 seconds to go, and Avon happy to run it off. Lorain High's defense continues to make the effort, but just not a lot of time left here. And as Nolan Good tries to make a move, he's going to get contact from Joseph Simpson, who just came into the game. And Good to go to the line. Good has 4 on the game. Nathan Farley had a really nice day. I mean, he does average 13 points a game, so they counted him for that, but he has 11. We also talked about Ziegler comes in averaging 12 and a half. He only has 9. Nolan Good's the one at the line right now.
Like you
his
said,
5th point on the game. Second one up, in and out.
Like you said, just a true team victory. A lot of guys contributing in a lot of different ways as well, playing their roles specifically, whether it's off the bench or as the sharpshooter.
Nolan Good pushes out to an 18-point lead. So we get to the final 10 seconds, and Avon has their biggest lead of the night. So it's a going-away win for the Eagles. As that 3 by Rouser's no good. Battle for the rebound along the sideline. Comes out to the Titans. Final second. Shots up. Not sure that was going to count if it did go. Final score, Avon 63, Lorain 45, as the Avon Eagles move to 13-7 on the year in this non-conference win. And we're going to talk about this game and talk to the players and coaches that made it all happen. So stay with us here as the Peace, Love, and Little Donuts postgame show follows this quick timeout on the Lorain County Sports Network. The Avon Eagles win going away here in Avon as they win this non-conference battle with the Lorain High Titans and show why they are the top-seeded team from Lorain County with this new convoluted RPI ranking with these super districts in Division I and Northeast District. It's the number 20 seed Avon. That's the highest seed from Lorain County. And I was actually doing some comparisons earlier today and looking up all the different RPI scores through the different divisions, and Avon still comes out on the top regardless of which division we were in, and they showed why tonight, that they've got high hopes for the second season, as they really came together with a big team victory. Final score 63-45 here at Avon. Remind you that we will be back here next week as the Eagles take on Amherst, and we've got a ton of basketball coming up for you on both of our stations as well as here on your YouTube network. Tomorrow, a great girls basketball game from Wellington. The Keystone Wildcats are going to go down there and try to make it a perfect season. And Don Vincent and Maria Janasco will have the call from Wellington tomorrow on WDLW. Friday on WDLW, it'll be Southwestern Conference action over from Illyria, as the Midview Middies, who have really shown a big surge here in the final parts of the season, go against what some may argue is the best playing team right now in the Southwestern Conference, Illyria. So that would be good. And those are on WDLW. Then we go to girls action on Saturday on WDLW. They'll be in North Ridgeville as the Rangers open the postseason against North Canton Hoover. On WOBL, Dave Rivera and I will be over at Brookside on Friday night, as Lorain County League game is against Black River, and Brookside trying to keep their top ranking in the Lorain County League. And on Saturday, I'll be back here on WOBL, and that'll be Avon hosting Notre Dame Cathedral Latin in the opening round of the girls sectional tournament. And remind you that those girls games on Saturday, both WOBL and WDLW, 1 o'clock tip-offs, and they'll tip off on time since there'll be no preceding game as we get into the playoffs, as we deal with the triple headers tonight, which were very entertaining. Freshman game, I understand, went overtime. We had a JV game that came down to the wire, and very competitive varsity game here tonight, Max, but it was Avon really pulling away at the end. And we saw both teams really get further into their rotations, try to keep fresh legs, but Avon really kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting points in the coach's interview before the game that Mike Fitch brought up was those injuries early on. Obviously, Nolan Good missing some time, Farley missing some time as well. But because of that, they were able to work different guys in, guys that maybe hadn't seen the floor as much this season. And because of that, it made their bench even deeper. They had more guys they could trust, and that certainly showed tonight. I mean, several performances. You alluded to a couple of them. Joe Griffiths, the big man. I mean, when Toniolo was out, it didn't feel like there was any difference. There was no drop-off, and you can tell that there's a lot of trust and a lot of experience along that Avon bench.
So for the Eagles, they started slow. Only 7 points in the first quarter, nothing in the first 4 minutes. But, man, they made up for it with getting out to a 4-point lead at half, an 8-point lead at the end of the third, and then a big fourth quarter to win going away with a final score of 63 for Avon. It breaks down this way. Chance Miller comes off the bench for a two-pointer, and Tyson Ziegler, they didn't have to rely on someone. This one makes the Avon team so dangerous. You have a Tyson Ziegler who I could put in his quotation marks, but only 9 points. And he's a guy who knows they can do a lot more than that. Nolan Good still working his way back into basketball shape after his football injury, but he ends up with 7 points tonight. Paul Leftrick, another one of those football names, he scores 6. And consistent scoring across the board for him. Nathan Farley, great game tonight for him. He ends up with 11 points, and just a nice game all around, both passing, rebounding, and shooting. Zane Austin going to be the points leader tonight for Avon, but they switched those back and forth between Farley, Austin, and Ziegler left and right. Tonight, it's Austin tallying up 20 points, and he drops down 4 3-pointers, 3 deuces, and hit both of his free throws to total up 20. Joey Griffiths, like Max mentioned, comes off the bench for 6, and Sam Toniolo had 2 more points. That rounds out to 63 for the Avon Eagles. For the Lorain High Titans, they had quarters of 10, 12, and then 13, so just could never really kind of get off the schneid, as they might say, offensively. Led tonight by Jaden Guerra Howard. No surprise there. Comes in averaging 16.1 a game. He finishes with 15 tonight. Isaiah Rouser had a nice shooting night. He ended up with 9, all from the 3-point range. Asaya Killian, good job offensively and defensively, as he really created a lot of steals and helped the Lorain High get off to that 6-point lead early in the game. He finishes with 11. 2 points for Josh Evans. Xavion Everson hit 6 there, all in the fourth quarter. And Savon Brown contributed 2. That totals up to a grand total of 45 for the Avon Eagles. This is the Peace, Love, and Little Donuts postgame show. Feed your inner hippie. And I mentioned it's just about walking distance from here, but those donut shops, they tend to open up really early in the morning and not be open up here tonight. I also want to thank our friends over at Ernie's Auto Body, Nick Abraham Buick GMC, and the Lorain County Visitors Bureau as well, the sponsors who help pull together to bring you these contests throughout the season. And one of those is Nick Abraham Elyria Ford. We have our Mr. Basketball watch, and Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, shop ElyriaFord.com. And Zane Austin guy is a guy you got to talk about a lot, right?
Yeah, he made it real easy to stand out on that list, and he's definitely going to be one of those guys we look towards as we get even closer to award season itself.
Yeah, both teams with a lot of seniors out there. Jaden Guerra-Howard for Lorain High, certainly in the conversation for Mr. Basketball. We mentioned those 3 leading scorers for Avon. Those are all seniors in Farley, Austin, and Ziegler. And like I said, tonight it was Austin breaking out for 20, and they just call on whoever needs to be the hot hand. So Avon's going to go next back into Southwestern Conference play to end the season, as they'll take on Amherst here, like I said, next Tuesday, and then finish the season across the tracks against their rivals. And then they will start tournament play on the 28th of this month, and they'll be playing back here. That's the nice thing about being the highest seed in the county. You get to play at home, at probably 2 games at home here. So hopefully this will be something to start a good, nice stretch for the Avon Eagles, as they'll take on Worcester on the 28th. But tonight, we're going to get a chance. Number 12 on the front of the jersey is Nathan Farley. First of all, sir, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a great night tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, I know we talked many times tonight about you guys really don't have a true leading scorer. You kind of rely on who your averages are pretty close throughout the year, but you kind of rely on who has the hot hand. So how do you guys kind of figure that out? I mean, obviously your offense was a little slow to get started tonight.
Yeah, it's just our team. We have a bunch of great scorers that can score the ball, so it's just whoever's rolling, and we stick with a hot hand, and we just all play really hard, and so it's just whoever's scoring, we just go with that, and we just keep pushing and keep scoring if our players that are hot.
And one of the key things that was the Avon offense tonight was finding that guy moving into the block, moving along the baseline. And that's something, obviously, you guys practice a lot, but it's not like you're looking for the big guy down below. It's whoever's making the cut. So describe your offense to how you guys make that work and share the ball.
Yeah, our offense is we have 5 out, and we have 4 out and 1 in, and we just have a bunch of off-ball plays and cuts and things to get people open, and whoever's open, we give them the ball, and we rely on them to be strong for ball and go up and finish strong or hit a nice shot. So, yeah, that's...
And as you get in the flow of the game, and obviously you have some time that you get to watch the game a little bit, who stood out to you teammate-wise that really helped make this a pull-away win for the Eagles tonight?
Well, I think Zane, my teammate Zane Austin, scored the ball really well tonight, and I hit him on a few passes, and he was always good at cutting the hoop and getting open. And, I mean, Nolan played a great game. Tyson played a great game. And just everyone plays really hard, and I love to see that in my teammates, and it pushes me to work harder and keep going hard. So, yeah.
Well, Nathan, we really like the game you played, not only the points you put up on the board, but the other stats. You have rebounds, you had assists, good defensive effort as well. And for that effort, we're going to name you our Hoop Tech Player of the Game for tonight. And our Player of the Game sponsor is Hoop Tech, where basketball meets technology. And we're going to give you this very brightly colored shirt to sport around the town and school, wherever you want.
Thank you.
Which is provided by our friends at Lake Screen Printing, Lorain County's oldest and largest union label screen print company.
Yeah, in the second half, you guys were able to pull away. Obviously, a very tight first half, but in that second half, it really seemed like your guys' physicality in the paint and down low is what helped lead to this win, help you pull away late. What did Coach Fitch go over at halftime? Was there any passionate speech, or was it just kind of an understood thing? Step up on the boards like that.
Well, I mean, we're always pushed to just play hard, and I'm not going to say we didn't play as hard as we could in the first half, but we just really wanted to come out and finish the game in the second half, so we just came out and played really hard, and when we play hard, we're more physical, and we're just a much better team. So, yeah, I think we're all just as a team switched and talked in the locker room, and we came out ready to go.
Yeah, it certainly showed. You guys were getting a lot more second chance points, so it was a fantastic effort down low.
Well, we talked about before the game that this is one of those games, like you guys concentrate on the Southwestern Conference, you concentrate on certainly beating your rivals, you now know your playoff seeding, so when you set up goals at the beginning of the year, beating Lorain High in a non-conference game is not a high goal, but it's obviously the present goal and keeping you guys self-focused here tonight. So what are your goals for the remainder of this season?
Well, our goals as a team is just to keep playing as hard as we can and win our last 2 regular season games and go far in a tournament and just play really hard and have fun on the court.
And tournament-wise, you really had to gave yourself a big test by playing St. Ignatius. So talk a little bit about how that experience might help you going into the postseason.
Yeah, we played a really good team in Ohio, and it's going to help us out when we later down the road in tournament time when we have that experience and like the past experience of playing a really hard team. It's going to help us do better in the tournament. So.
Well, we're going to be looking forward to following you through that. Nathan Farley, we appreciate you taking time with us here after the game, and you are our Hoop Tech Player of the Game. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
All right, and we get a chance to bring in your head coach, the guy who has to pull all the sometimes I say something, you got to pull the hair out of your head, right? Because 4 minutes into this game, you're calling timeout a couple times in there. It's not starting the way you went. How do you react to that? You know this team. You know kind of what gets them going, and obviously whatever you said worked.
Yeah, I think we're on our heels on offensive-wise. They hit some good pull-up jumpers, and I thought we were still playing good defense, but we're on our heels offensively. My assistant coach, Jim Walsh, did a really good job calling a couple sets to get us some easy buckets, and once it started going in the basket, it's easy for guys to knock down some normal shots that they make. When you're struggling scoring, you try to force a little bit, so when you get easy ones to fall, it's really easy to knock them down after that.
Well, how do you talk about easy baskets? A lot of it was because great passing, quick bounce passes a lot down into the block, but it's not like they're just standing around waiting for that pass to get in. How do you guys work on that on practice to get those passes in against a very active physical defense?
Well, that's our secret. No, we practice that stuff every single day. It almost becomes monotonous for our guys, but we preach those little details of making that pass and making that right cut and reading the defender what they're doing. We know what Lorain wants to do, so we thought we could have some cuts that would get us to the basket, and obviously that worked in the second half for us a lot.
And so you talk about practice. What will you be working on in practice over these next few ones? Because obviously you know where you're going for the end of the year. You know where the postseason starts. And obviously that's the big goal. So what is this team, what are you trying to still get out of them that they can get better at as they go into the second season?
Fine-tuned details. We know who we're going against. We know our opponents. They run some special stuff that obviously we do a little scouting report. We watch a lot of film. We want to make it fun at this point of the year. They've been practicing. I think we're on 57 right now. So it's a lot of practice throughout the year. So getting a lot of shots up because you want to keep your legs fresh. It's hard to come in tomorrow and practice hard, but definitely focus on those little details that we'll see on film. We'll watch it tonight. We'll see what we made some mistakes defensively-wise. I know we only gave up 45, but there's a couple things that we screwed up a little bit and keep working on those details and making sure we're at our top performance at the end of the year.
And you talked about keeping legs fresh. We mentioned during the game you went to a deeper rotation early in the game, and you got some really nice contributions off the bench today.
Yeah, and we had two that didn't play much that normally do as well. I thought Paul Leftrick did an amazing job. Chance Miller did a great job. Ali Jabber, they did awesome. Joey Griffiths hasn't played much lately, and we went with him, and he had some really good buckets. He read the defense perfect. That's credit to the seniors. We're all seniors and juniors, so they have a lot of experience, and it's good for them to be able to get in there and show what they can do.
Yeah, this is Avon's debut on the Lorain County Sports Network YouTube, and if this is the first game you watch, you say, oh, that Joey Griffiths guy, he's out there every night, but you're telling us that was him stepping up tonight.
Yeah,
and making
that's what we want to do. We always tell them there could be someone in the stands I've never seen you play basketball, so we want to leave them with a good impression.
Great performance.
And you talked about that depth. Obviously, you hit on it in the pregame coach's corner. You predicted it perfectly. When you move into the playoffs and postseason play, sometimes rotations can shrink. Do you see that with this team, or are you comfortable with a lot of those guys?
I know that's a good question. I think we have to keep doing what we do. We're used to those rotations. I honestly, what we would do is kind of make a decision. If that guy's playing well, then we stick with him. But if not, we keep going through our rotations, see what's happening. But it's nice, Nolan be able to come out and sit for 2 or 3 minutes and get fresh legs and make some free throws after that. So I think we'll do what we do. I think we have a good first-round matchup in the tournament. So if we can get by that, then we just keep rolling.
We were so impressed by what you guys did. We're going to come back next Tuesday and do this again right here from this very spot.
I love it.
So hopefully, things go well for the Eagles. We'll be talking to you again a week from tonight and get you guys to the end of the season and ready for Worcester and beyond.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys coming out. Good one Tuesday, and we got a special one on Friday, so we're ready to go.
Yeah, that's always a good one, right? We'll talk about that too as well. So Mike Fitch, appreciate it. And our halftime guest, you didn't see this because you're in the locker room, but we had a guy you might be familiar with, Bill Fitch.
Oh, no.
Came over, was our halftime guest, because every time I come here, I can never keep track of all these different Fitches, and you got even one across the tracks. But remind me now, so he's
my uncle.
Uncle, right? Okay. And then Colton is
my nephew. My brother's kid, yep.
And how about the girls on the ones that are on the girls?
So they're all my cousin Kevin,
Okay.
the late guy. They're all his kids. So
All right,
we
so-
got Anna, Emma, and Jax on my freshman team. So
We
we
got
got a
it
lot
all.
of pitches around here.
We got it all together, and we're talking about Fitches a week from tonight here on the Lorain County Sports Network as well. So, Mike Fitch, appreciate you, and congratulations on a big non-conference win tonight.
Awesome. Thanks for coming out, guys.
Yeah, great win for the Avon Eagles, not only putting away the non-conference Lorain High Titans, but they did it going away and made it all happen. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the numbers and get you out of here on this night. Our stats are brought to you by Alan Januzzi, CPA, because it's all about the numbers. And we harped in on a few of these throughout the evening, so let's wrap things up here for our listeners.
Yeah, just running through a quick of the basic ones on offense. I mean, we saw a lot of efficiency from Avon, especially in that second half. 5 of 13 from downtown to 4 of 19 for Lorain. So that efficiency really came up late. And then also the free throw line. Lorain, they weren't able to get theirs often as we know in the past games, especially during their win streak, that they've been able to. Just 5 of 8 to Avon's 8 of 11. So in those key shooting metrics, as well as the rebounds that we talked about, Avon was really able to close that gap and overtake it and pull away with this win.
And you talk about key shooting metrics, and one of those is our shooting star of the night, which is brought to you by United States Air Force. Aim high. Visit Staff Sergeant McCraven in Avon or airforce.com. And Zane Austin, who Nathan Farley pointed out, he made 4 from three-point range, 3 from inside the arc, and both of his free throws. Finishes with 20 points, and clearly the shooting star of tonight's game. Congratulations to him. That's going to wrap things up here from Avon. Like I said, we're going to be back here for our final week of the regular season on the YouTube network right here, and they'll be playing Amherst. Got all this action coming up tomorrow, WDLW, with Keystone Girls going for a perfect season. On Friday night on WLBL, we'll be over at Brookside as they try to seal off the Lorain County League Championship for boys. Meanwhile, on WDLW on Friday, they'll be at Illyria. And that's a backyard brawl, Midview and Illyria, and it means even so much more to both teams the way they've been playing as of late. And then just a reminder that on Saturday we'll have girls sectional tournament basketball on both of our stations. It's a 1 o'clock start on both stations. On WDLW, they'll be over in North Ridgeville as North Canton Hoover comes to town, and on WOBL, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin will be coming right here to this gym to take on the Avon Eagles. Any last thoughts for tonight's game on either of these teams, Max?
Yeah, it's certainly going to propel Avon into the remainder of this schedule. And as for Lorain, they're no stranger to some adversity, so we'll see how they respond, especially with a lot of Southwestern Conference opponents on the remainder of the schedule.
And the tough thing that makes it, as the seedings have come out and been finalized and the brackets are set, is that game against St. Ignatius Avon had. I mean, that's what the threshold everyone's got to cross, and unfortunately for the Eagles, that was a 24-point loss. But, hey, let's celebrate tonight if you're an Eagles fan, because it's an 18-point going-away victory as the Avon Eagles take down the Lorain High Titans 73-45. And we appreciate all the sponsors you see on the screen, you for watching and listening. I invite you to join us next Tuesday right back here in Avon as we'll be here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.